Hey everyone, welcome to Serious Teacher. Imagine you are playing a puzzle, but you don't know the rules of the game. That's how most of the students feel when they first see letters in math. That's algebra, right? So today we are going to completely solve that problem. If you ever felt that you have any problems between expressions and equations or variables, constants, terms, we are going to solve that today. Let's begin. First thing first, let's talk about the variables. Now, what is a variable? Variable is a letter whose value can change, whose value is not fixed, it can vary on different situations. For example, let's say X is the number of goals scored by a striker. Now, a striker can score 2 goals in a match, 3 goals in another match, or may not score any goal in a match, right? So, the value of X can change in different matches. So, X is called a variable. Now, again, let's talk about a variable H. So H is the number of hours you sleep a night. So you can sleep 4 hours in a night, or maybe 6 hours in another day, 8 hours in another day, right? Depending on different situations, the value of H can vary. So H can be called a variable. So X, H, these things, these letters represent a number, but that number is not fixed. They can vary. We call them variables. Now, the second thing is a constant. Let's say we have a number 5. So a 5 will always remain a 5, right? It will not change. It does not vary. 5 remains a 5. Then these numbers which are fixed and do not vary, they are called the constants. Now let's put things together. When we have a number and a variable together, that thing is called a term. Now let's say 7 is a constant, right? It's just a constant. If I put a variable with it, then I have a term. So term is a single piece in algebra, just like a word in a sentence. So 7x is a term. Remember that a term has 3 things. It has a coefficient. Now what is a coefficient? Coefficient is the number. 7 here is the coefficient. Second, we're going to have a variable. We can clearly see that x is the variable here. Now the third thing is the power, or the exponent is called the power exponent. Now let's go back to our term. We have 7, the coefficient, x is the variable. Now you cannot see a power here, right? Remember, whenever you cannot see a power or an exponent, the power is usually 1. And when the exponent or a power is 1, we do not write it. Again, let's talk about 5y cubed. This is a term. Why? Because it has a coefficient which is 5, it has a variable which is y, and it has a power or an exponent which is cube, or power is 3, right? So this is also a term. Now sometimes you can see a term like this. You do not see an exponent, coefficient, right? So the coefficient is 1. Basically, when you do not see a number in front, the coefficient is 1. Remember, the coefficient is not 0. It's a common mistake. The coefficient is 1 when you do not see any coefficient in front of the variable. Just to recap, again, in a term, we have coefficient, a variable, and a power. When you see a number in front of a variable, it's the coefficient. The variable is there, you already know about it, and the power is written on top, right? When you do not have a power, the power is 1. When you do not have a coefficient or a number in front, the coefficient is 1. Now let's talk about like terms and unlike terms. This is very important because when you do operations, this is where you will get stuck for the first time, okay? Now, in a like term, we have 2 things same, okay? You're going to have same variable, and then you're going to have same power. If you have these 2 things, then you can say they are like terms. For example, if we have 3x squared and 2x squared, they are like terms. Why? Because we have the same variable and the same power. Just like that, when you have 2x and let's say only x, that means 1x, again they have the same variable and the same power, so we call them like terms. When you have like terms, you can add them or subtract them to get a one simple term. For example, if we add them 2x plus x, we can get 3x. One simple term from these two terms, we have added them. Again, let's subtract 3x square and 2x square. They are like terms, so we can do it, and we are going to get 1x squared. Just like 3 apples minus 2 apples, you get 1 apple. Okay, just like that. Now, if you don't have these two things, they are called unlike terms. For example, you have 3y square and 2x square. Here the power is same, but the variable is not same. So these are not like terms. If you try to do any operation with them, just like plus or minus, you cannot get anything. It does not happen. You don't get a simplified term from that. You cannot do that. For example, let's take another one. We have 3y cubed and 2y squared. Okay, again, we have the same variable in both of them, but the power is different. Again, they are unlike terms. So we cannot add or subtract them. So when you have same variable and same power, they are called like terms. And when we have like terms, we can simplify them, add them or subtract them to get one simple term. But when we have different variable or different power, we cannot add or subtract them and get one simple term, right? So keep that in mind. It is going to be very useful for the next phase. Now let's talk about expressions. What are the expressions? Expressions are just a group of terms joined by plus, minus, multiplication or division. Let's see. Let's say we have 2x minus 3x plus 5y minus 2y. You see, we have one term, two terms, three terms, and four terms, right? And see, they are joined by positive and negative signs. This is an expression. We have multiple terms, they are joined by either positive, add, subtraction, or multiplication or division, then we can call them an expression. What do we do with an expression? This is very important. First thing, there is no equal in expression. There is no equal in expression. We only have terms that are joined together. We can do three things with an expression. First of all, we can simplify them. Second, we can evaluate them if we are given a value of the variable, we will see. And third, we can factorize them. That means we can take out common numbers. For example, let's say this one. You can simplify them because we have like terms. This one is a like term because it has the same power and the same variable. Again, for third and fourth term, we have the same power and the same variable, so we can simplify them. 2x minus 3x is negative x, and 5y minus 2y, which is a positive 3y, right? So this is a simplification. You did that. That if you have unlike terms, then you cannot do nothing. You can just keep it like that. For example, we have 3x squared plus 5x plus 3y. All of them are unlike terms. They're not like terms. We cannot simplify, evaluate, or factorize anything from here. We just keep them right there. Now, second is evaluation. Let's say we have an expression x plus y. Okay. Now, you are given the value of x and you are given the value of y. What you can do, you can evaluate the value of the expression. You put 1 in place of x and 2 in place of y, you will have a value 3. So the expression has a value 3, right? Okay. Now the third thing is factorization. Factorization is simply taking out common numbers, okay? Let's say we have an expression 5x plus 20. Okay. What is the common number in this term and this term? That is 5, right? We can divide both the terms by 5. So we can factorize by taking out 5. Then we have x plus 4. We will obviously discuss about it in details in another video. So what is an expression? Expressions are a group of terms that are together either with positive, negative, multiplication or division. There is no equal sign in an expression. We can do three things with an expression, which is either simplify, evaluate, or factorize, and no equation. This is the common mistake, okay? Now, what is an equation? An equation is two expressions joined by an equal sign. For example, let's say we have x plus 5 equals to 8. So we have an expression equals to another expression, which is actually a constant here. We call it an equation. An equation have two sides. One is the left side and one is the right side. The left side is normally called the left hand side and the right side is the right hand side. What do we do with an equation? We solve an equation to get the value of the variable. So for this one, we will try to find the value of the variable, which is x here. What we can do is we can subtract 5 from both sides. Then you are going to have the value of the variable. So finally, in an equation, we have two expressions joined by an equal sign, and with equations, we only do one thing, which is to find the value of the variable. How's the difference between equation and expression then? In an expression, there is no equal sign. We have only terms joined together, and either we do factorize, simplify, or evaluate that expression. And in an equation, we have two sides in either side of an equal sign. On the left side, you have an expression. On the right side, you have an expression. They can be terms, constants, or anything. We find the value of the variable from the equation. Do not mess up between expression and equation again, okay? So these were all the basics that you needed to know to start algebra. I hope that you're very clear about all these things now, and you're not going to have any doubt about them anymore. In our upcoming videos, we are going to get deeper and talk about other things like solving equations, linear, quadratic, and simultaneous equations too. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.